Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Talib and I'd like to talk about my journey to Islam. About 10 years ago I accepted Islam, and it was a very critical point in my life when I decided to become a Muslim. My background was somewhat not necessarily normal, and it was something that was I wasn't maybe like a very good contributor to society, and I just found that my life was just going round in circles, it's just going round and round and round and just not getting anywhere. But within myself I always had a very strong belief in Allah, and I always believed that I was here for a purpose and that people genuinely are here for a purpose. So after some investigation and speaking to one or two people who were already Muslim, I decided to go to a mosque and make some more inquiries about Islam. And then after some conversations with some people who were there, I accepted Islam. And it was something that at the instance, at the very moment of it, I didn't quite understand what it meant and what the implications were. But it was something that within myself I felt very calm about it, and I felt that it was the right thing for me to do at that time. And even up to this day, anytime I think back to that time, it's always a very warm time, a very good time for me, because I realised that that was the first time that I took a very major step in changing the whole of my life and the lives of people that are around me. Islam is a way of life that when you embrace it and apply it in its totality, you will always find calmness. So even if you have, stressful moments in your life, you know that by applying Islam, you're always going to have that inner peace, you're always going to have that inner calmness. So no matter what happens, you know that Allah is always there. And as it says in the Quran, that we should always ask Allah for forgiveness, and we should always try to seek Him and try to rectify our matters by His way. So it was a very difficult moment for me, because I had a lot of friends obviously who weren't Muslim, and I didn't contact them for a long time. But I just found that after I did speak to them and I informed them that I was a Muslim, some of them just left me, and some people didn't contact me, and even up to this day, 10 years ago, I haven't seen any of them. But I realised that those were the people who didn't necessarily really want any good for me, and the people who I still have contact with are the people that do want good for me. And it's good in that way because it makes you see who people really are, and makes you understand who friends are, and makes you understand what friends are. And since embracing Islam, my community of friends has gone, it's just gone international. There's people that I've met whilst being on holiday. There's people that I'll meet even just on the street or in the mosque, and we know that we've got that thing in common. We've got that thing in common, that we believe in God alone, one God with no partnerships, and we believe that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the final messenger. And when you have that connection, even with somebody that you've never met before, you could instantly make a friendship, a long-lasting friendship. And that's one of the beautiful things about Islam, is that its simplicity is one of the things that is the most beautiful thing about it. Because if you consider how easy it is to accept Islam and to become a Muslim, you only have to say one sentence, and that's one of the most simplest things, to testify that there's only one God worthy of worship, and that Muhammad is the messenger. And if you make that declaration, you become a Muslim. There's no complicated method to it. There's no ritual that you have to go through. You just have to make that declaration within yourself and be sincere to yourself. which nowadays is something that is very difficult to do because society demands us to be different and demands us to be superficial, where Islam comes and it cuts right through that, and it just goes straight to the source, and it just wants us to be honest. It wants us to be honest with ourselves, but more importantly, it wants us to be honest with God. And that is where the basis of it lies, is to be honest with yourself and to be honest with God, because God knows what's within your soul. So if you're at a point where you're thinking to yourself, you want to make a change, you want to take the next step, then the step that you've already considered, by being honest with yourself, you've already made one step already. And the next step now is just to make one declaration, and then that's it. Your life will instantly change, because not only you will see things differently, your opinion on certain things will change. You know, your opinion of other people will change. Other opinions of you will change as well. So all you need to do is just to make that declaration that there is no God worthy of worship and that Muhammad is a messenger. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad abduhu wa rasuluh. And you just make that one declaration, that simple statement that will enter you into Islam and make an everlasting change in your life. Look at where we are. We're in London, a beautiful sunny day. You know, we look and we see the clouds, we see the beautiful blue sky, no interruptions in the sky, no defects in the sky. We have birds, and if you give it good consideration, you will know that all of this could never have come about by itself, and it could never come about and sustain itself by itself. Logically, you would never accept that. You would never accept that any building, any car, any bike, any item of clothing could ever come together and form itself and sustain itself by itself. So therefore, it's logic to consider and admit and accept that there's one creator for the whole of the world.
Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu
This product is brought to you by
alaikum.
London Dawah.